and you know, now we worldwide.
Absolutely. So to set this project up, you guys come with Punks Jump Up to Get Beat Down. Tell me how
Which is
that
probably the last song that we recorded.
is that right?
Yeah.
But it dropped in 92, so the whole album was already done.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an interesting fact. So how did that track become the first lead-off single out of all the tracks that you guys recorded?
Well, I don't know. I kind of remember on the first album, some of our strongest shit was like the last shit we recorded. You know, Slow Down might have been the last thing we recorded um, for one album. So although we knew we had, you know, we felt like we had some strong shit. X X and Diamond was always hanging out, like, you know what I mean? And Diamond was just, he was always around us since the beginning when we started in Jazzy J's studio. Like, he was one of those that was coming up in Jazzy J's studio as well. Him, Lord Finesse, you know what I mean? Like, people like Big L used to be like, Big L was just a little kid that was just around, like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't even like, he wasn't even Big L yet, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but anyway, so yeah, Diamond was always like family to us, basically. But him and X was always cool. So I don't know. Maybe we went to his crib one day and he was playing some beats and he played the original album version of Punks Jump Up. And I was like, yo, that's fucking retarded. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. And so we did some shit to that. Yeah, we did the Punks Jump Up. Side note, Sin-seer is the one that came up with the hook for Punks Jump Up to Get Beat Down. I'm like, what even made you think of that? Like, I was like, that should sound ill, but what made you think of that? So he said he got it from, and it's crazy how one thing will beget another. So he got it from KRS, My Philosophy. There's two instances. He said one time earlier in the record, he says, pick the punk and I jump up to attack one. He says, pick the punk and I jump up to attack one. Then at the end of the song, he says, when some clown jumps up to get beat down. So Sin-seer somehow mashed that together and came up, Punk Jump Up to Get Beat Down. And I was like, yo, that's hot. Like, yo, that's hot. But I didn't know at the time that that's where he got it from. He told me that later. And I ended up telling that story to KRS, and I told it to Kenny Parker, and it's, you know, so that's an interesting little FYI.
Oh, yeah. Fun fact. I bet none of us knew that.
Right. None of us knew that. But now you can hear it when I put it together. Like, you could see it.
Absolutely.
So man sharpens man, steel sharpens steel.
No doubt.
So he came with that. Then I was happy with that. Then we're at the video for Best Kept Secret. We're at the video for Best Kept Secret, and you know, it's in between scenes, and we're chilling. We're on these like jungle gyms at this fucking playground that he's shooting it at, and he's like, "Yo, let me play some shit for you." No, it was a car or something. Maybe he was out there, but it was by the jungle gyms and all. And so they pull up the whip. Yo, let me play this shit. I did another version of that Punks Jump Up shit. You know what I mean? He played that doo 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 doo, and I was like, yo! I was like, yo, this is fucking stupid too. But I think he might have had it falling different, because that one and the next one that he did, he had it falling different. I was like, the one needs to be, he had the one somewhere else. I said, if the one starts here, it's gonna be crazy. Yo, however you want to do it, Jay. You know what I mean? So he went and did whatever I asked him to do. Once he did that, I said, yo, we might have to make this one the video version. Like, and that was the time when people was doing freaky shit like that sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could jump from the album version and then there's a different video version. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, fuck it. Let's change the beat. Something about this beat seems more like universal. It seems more, you know, because our other shit was hard, like, you know, like, but this one sounds like more people could fuck with this one. You know what I mean?
Right.
It almost contrasts the abrasive message that we're giving right now. Punk jump up to get, see, the first beat went with that. That was like some real beat down beat. Like, that was a beat to get beat up on. Like, you know what I mean? This one was like, you could rock to this and beat somebody up.
Right.
And side note, disclaimer, you know, we wasn't trying to necessarily promote violence against black people and all of this. You know, this is about just manning up and, like, you know what I mean? Something that you don't see these days is, hey, how about settle a dispute with your hands instead of fucking shooting each other and all this other bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd rather punks jump up to get beat down and live another day than punks get clapped up and we never see them again. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, so he did that. And then he had the gall to even come with another one. Like, you know, there's 3 versions to that?
I don't think I knew that.
There's another version of Punks where Diamond is now rhyming on that, and me and Sadat change our lyrics. Like, we have whole different lyrics now. The first 2 versions, we're saying the same lyrics. The third version has a different kind of hook, and we totally rewrite new verses and Diamond rhymes on this one. So y'all research that one. Step up and catch a bad one. That was the ill one right there. That shit is hard too. Like, you know, he was making it. I was like, man, we need to use all these motherfuckers. Fuck it.
Right.
And that's what we did.
And I'm sure I caught that track maybe on some mixtape and never, you know what I mean?
Maybe
you
might have thought it was a whole other song or some shit like that.
Right. Now I'm definitely going to go find it after this interview.
The third version. Boom, boom, boom. It got some ill bass. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. But the thread that ties them all to get all 3 together is the horn shit. Like, that goes with all of them.
That horn, Rocky horn, right? The Rocky.
I think it's Rocky horn, or it's a Rocky-esque horn. I think it's from Rocky.
Right. Whose idea was that?
That was always Diamond. Diamond came with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
From the beginning. That's how the first beat starts, with that fucking horn going like that.
Right.
I was like, yo, that Rocky, yo, that's crazy. Like, and that's probably what made Sin-seer think punks jump on some fighting shit, because of the Rocky horn. You know what I mean?
Right. So when that single dropped, like a lot of us, we caught the video. DJs, of course, caught the 12-inch. What was that reaction like? From your standpoint, what was that reaction like when that hit the streets?
It was crazy. People loved it. You know what I mean? It was vindicating. You know, it felt great, because it was like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't no one-hit wonders. We know what we're doing too. You know what I mean? We can craft some shit scientifically and give y'all some shit. And with all due respect to our mentor, we can still do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
We can still do this on our own. And that's what the fuck we did.
So the fun fact is that dropped 92, the album dropped 93, but you say the whole album is pretty much complete.
Because it dropped, listen, February 2nd, right? So that means first quarter of 93. You understand that back then you had to have your artwork and all that done like 3 months in advance. You understand?
Right.
Like that's how everything worked. In order to make sure that your press and all that lands properly, they was booking interviews and shit like that like 3 months in advance. Everything was like 3 months in advance. So you'd have to get your album, you know, it wasn't digital like it is now. Everything is so you could print something out right now and boom, you know,
Right.
send it out to the world. But back then, 3 months in advance. So you had to have it done in 92 in order for it to come out in first quarter 93. You understand?
Gotcha. Yep. So take us back to those recording sessions. What was that? Those sessions like for that album?
Oh, those was great. Shout out to the main engineer for that album would be Dave Kennedy. Shout out to Dave Kennedy. Yeah, we were working out of Chungking a lot at that time. Maybe we started doing a little Calliope. No, was we Calliope? I think we was doing mostly Chungking at that time. Yeah. And yeah, it was great, you know.
Some of your peers following through to hear the album before it was released?
What's that?
Some of your peers following through in the industry?
Oh, that's how it was back then. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us would be recording at the same studios. And, you know, you get there on your time, but they're not kind of finished with their shit yet. So now you're sitting down in somebody's session or vice versa. You get to hear, you know, what they're doing. They get to hear what you're doing. And, you know, everybody was impressed by each other, you know, depending on what session you walked into. You know, we was walking into fucking Tribe Called Quest sessions and De La Soul sessions and, you know, all kind of shit like that when we was working at Calliope. And then at Chungking, you know, Leaders was working there, fucking all kind of people, Run DMC. Like it was, you know, mad people.
Right.
So, yeah, it was definitely a lot of that.